What if I told you that there are certain items at Costco sitting right there on those massive shelves that you should never, ever put in your cart? That's right. While you're cruising those warehouse aisles thinking you're getting unbeatable deals, there are products that could be costing you way more than you realize, and not just in dollars. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which items to avoid and which ones are actually worth your money. Ready? Let's get into it. 10. The $4.99 rotisserie chicken with a salmonella problem. Costco sells over 100 million rotisserie chickens per year. That's an insane number. And to meet that demand, they built their own processing plant, Lincoln Premium Poultry in Nebraska. They wanted total control over the supply chain, quality assurance, consistency. What they got instead, a chronic salmonella problem that's been ongoing since the plant opened in 2019. According to a farm-forward analysis of USDA data, Lincoln Premium Poultry has received a Category 3 rating, the USDA's lowest safety rating for salmonella contamination, 92% of the time since opening. What does Category 3 mean? It means the plant is failing federal safety standards. More than roughly 1 in 10 whole chickens from the facility destined for rotisserie use arrive at stores contaminated with salmonella. 1 in 10. So when you're grabbing that hot chicken from the warmer, there's a very real chance you're bringing home a foodborne pathogen. It gets worse. Customers have been complaining for years that the rotisserie chicken sometimes tastes perfectly normal, but other times comes with a strong off taste akin to chemicals or plastic. One customer wrote on Reddit, "Costco chicken tastes like chemicals." And the sodium. A single 3-ounce serving contains 460 milligrams of sodium. That's 20% of your daily recommended intake in just one serving. And who eats just 3 ounces? Nobody. You're probably eating double or triple that. By the time you've finished a quarter of that chicken, you've consumed more than half your daily sodium limit. The chicken is cheap for a reason. It's a loss leader. Costco loses money on every bird just to get you in the store. But at what cost to your health? If chicken could be this risky, surely the prepared foods are safer, right? Wrong. 9. The prepared foods with plastic and metal contamination. Let's start with the Caesar salad and chicken sandwich. In November 2025, Costco recalled both products after discovering that the Caesar dressing contained pieces of plastic, not tiny specks, pieces, visible chunks of black plastic that could cut your mouth, throat, or digestive system if swallowed. The contamination came from Ventura Foods, the supplier who makes the dressing. Black plastic planting material was found in the granulated onion used to season the products. Agricultural plastic from an onion field made its way through the entire production process and ended up in your salad dressing. Quality control failure at its finest. The affected products had sell-by dates between October 17th and November 9th, 2025, and were sold at select Costco stores across the Midwest, Northeast, and Southeast regions. Thousands of customers bought these products. How many ate them before the recall was announced? Nobody knows. Then there's the corn dogs. Foster Farms corn dogs sold at Costco were recalled in November 2025 when wood chips were found in the batter coating, the kind you'd put in a smoker or use for landscaping. That's what was in your kid's after-school snack. And the eggs. Kirkland Signature Organic Pasture. Raised 24-count eggs were recalled in 2024 because of salmonella contamination risk. Even the organic and pasture-raised products aren't safe. So when you're reaching for that convenient prepared meal, ask yourself, do I trust that this doesn't have plastic, metal, or wood in it? Because Costco's track record suggests you probably shouldn't. At least you can see prepared foods. You can inspect them. The next category, it's sealed up tight and you have no idea what's really inside. 8. The Kirkland Signature products with questionable ingredients. Kirkland Signature, Costco's private label brand. The one that's supposed to be high quality at a low price. The one that loyal members swear by. What they don't advertise, some Kirkland products are loaded with additives, preservatives, and ingredients that would make a nutritionist cringe. The bacon. Kirkland Signature Sliced Bacon contains sodium nitrite, a preservative linked to cancer in a 2022 study published in the International Journal of Epidemiology. It also contains sodium phosphate and sodium erythorbate, two more processed ingredients that add to its synthetic nature. Sodium nitrite is commonly used in processed meats to prevent bacterial growth and maintain color. But when you're eating bacon regularly, which many people do, you're accumulating this chemical in your system. The cancer link is real. The protein bars. Kirkland Signature protein bars contain erythritol, an artificial sweetener that research has linked to increased risk of blood clots and cardiovascular problems. The study was funded by the National Institutes of Health. This isn't fringe research. This is legitimate science showing that erythritol may be dangerous. Sure, you're getting 22 grams of protein, along with a potential heart attack. The candy, virtually everything in the Kirkland Signature Funhouse Treats variety pack is full of corn syrup, sugar, palm kernel oil, modified starch, and gums. Several candies contain yellow 5, which has been linked to hyperactivity in children and possible genetic effects. If you're shocked that Costco's own chicken plant has failed safety standards 92% of the time, hit that like button and subscribe because we're just getting started. 7. The bakery items that smell like chemicals. Costco's bakery is legendary. The smell of fresh bread and pastries, the giant muffins, the sheet cakes that feed an army. It's a beloved part of the Costco experience. Recently, the bakery has become a source of complaints, returns, and outright disgust. The mini muffins. Customers report that the individually wrapped muffin packages emit a chemical odor reminiscent of petroleum once opened. Petroleum. The stuff you put in your car. That's what your baked goods smell like. One shopper on Reddit said, "I've recently had a couple bags and a bag or two had chemicals or plastic smell." Another wrote, "These are not good. They are moist and taste incredibly fake. They have quite a bit of additives that are actually pretty bad. The texture is also pretty horrible." The ingredient list is insanely long. One Reddit user questioned, "Why are the ingredients list so long? This is crazy. Muffins are made with baking powder, eggs, flour, vanilla, butter, and chocolate chips. What is all the rest?" Good question. Why does a simple muffin need 30 plus ingredients? Because those extra ingredients aren't there for flavor. They're there to extend shelf life, reduce costs, and make sure the product looks perfect after sitting in a warehouse for weeks. The chocolate chip cookies. Customers describe them as having no chew whatsoever and being dry as a bone, noting that palm and canola oils appear to be the problematic ingredients. One shopper wrote, "The chocolate chunk cookies are barely edible, worse than some crappy store brand such as Chips Ahoy." When customers are comparing your bakery to the bottom-tier grocery store brands and saying you're worse, something has gone seriously wrong. The banana nut loaf. Customers report that salt is the only real flavor they can taste, and the loaf is super dry and dense. One Reddit user said, "Salt is the only real flavor I can taste. No banana, no sugar, but just salt, and it's super dry and dense." And the croissants. Once considered one of Costco's best bakery items, they've gotten complaints about being doughy in the middle, greasy, and not flaky anymore. The quality has declined while the price has increased. At least bakery items are supposed to be indulgent. The next category is supposed to be healthy. Spoiler alert, it's not. 6. The organic products that aren't what you think. The organic, hard-boiled eggs. Customers have noticed that the quality has deteriorated significantly, with multiple shoppers stating they often have a mushy consistency. Some folks have found blood on the inside. Blood in your pre-boiled eggs. One customer said, when they're not suffering on a texture level, they also seem to have a pretty poor taste, with Costco customers identifying a weird flavor. You're paying a premium for organic and pasture-raised labels. You expect higher quality. Instead, you're getting mushy eggs with blood spots that taste off. That's not a premium experience. That's a scam. The organic brown sugar. You'd think sugar is sugar. How do you mess up sugar? Somehow, Costco managed it. The organic brown sugar has been criticized for quality issues, with customers complaining about the texture and freshness. Some report it arrives rock hard, clumped together, or with an off smell. The organic chicken breasts are perhaps the worst offender. Customers describe them as having a jelly, crunchy, woody texture that's increased dramatically, with one shopper saying they dread eating any breast over 8 ounces. Another clarified, "It's crunchy like a Christmas ham slice." This isn't normal chicken texture. This is a condition called woody breast, which occurs when chickens are bred to grow too fast. Muscle tissue develops abnormally, creating a hard, crunchy texture that's completely unappetizing. The fibers separate weirdly when you chew. It feels wrong in your mouth, and once you've experienced it, you can't unnotice it. Even the organic chicken, the one that's supposed to be higher quality, has this problem. You're paying more for chicken that's potentially worse than conventional options. And remember, organic doesn't mean ethical. Despite backlash, Costco has consistently refused to sign the Better Chicken commitment, which is otherwise signed by many big brands like Burger King, Chipotle, and Subway. The commitment requires better living conditions for chickens, more space, slower growth rates, better lighting. Costco won't sign it. Draw your own conclusions about why. Speaking of patterns, let's talk about what keeps happening over and over again. 5. The recall pattern that never stops. Go to Costco's website and click on the Recalls page. Count how many items have been recalled in the past year. These aren't isolated incidents. This is a pattern. When you have this many recalls this frequently, it points to serious systemic problems in your supply chain. Food safety experts emphasize that while recall systems work to remove contaminated products quickly, prevention remains the ultimate goal. Enhanced monitoring protocols, stricter quality controls, and improved equipment maintenance schedules could help reduce the frequency of such incidents. Costco isn't implementing those changes. They're issuing refunds and moving on, and employees watch it happen over and over again. Before you throw that bulk item in your cart, maybe check the recall page first, because there's a very real chance that what you're buying today will be recalled tomorrow. Now let's talk about the products everyone buys in massive quantities, but probably shouldn't. 4. The Kirkland products that employees know to avoid. Kirkland Signature is supposed to be Costco's premium private label, the products that rival national brands, the ones you can trust. According to employees and customers alike, some Kirkland products are absolute trash. The toilet paper. Customers say it's too thin and too scratchy, with some comparing it to sandpaper. Plumbers call it one of the worst brands of TP to buy. One Redditor explained, "The quality went way down a few years ago during the great toilet paper hoarding of COVID and never came back up. You're buying 30 rolls of sandpaper for your bathroom. Congratulations." The batteries. Multiple Redditors report that Kirkland batteries leak acid and break their electronics, with one user saying, "For nearly the past 10 years, I've found that the Kirkland brand batteries leak without fail. Doesn't matter what size, they all leak." You're saving a few bucks on batteries, only to have them destroy your remotes, clocks, and toys. Great deal. Now let's talk about the bulk buying myth. 3. The bulk items that aren't actually deals. Not everything you buy in bulk at Costco is actually a good deal. Some items are more expensive per unit than what you'd pay at a regular grocery store. But beyond the price, there's another issue. You're buying so much that you can't possibly use it all before it goes bad. Olive oil. Kirkland Signature Extra Virgin. Olive oil comes in a 2-liter container. The organic version is the same size. Refined olive oil requires buying a 2-pack of 3-liter containers. That's a massive amount of oil. Olive oil goes rancid. It oxidizes when exposed to light and air. The giant bottles from Costco expose your oil to air every single time you open them. Unless you're using olive oil by the gallon, that bottle is going to sit in your pantry for months, slowly turning rancid. You won't even taste it. Rancid olive oil doesn't taste obviously bad. It just loses its flavor and beneficial properties. You're paying for extra virgin quality and getting something closer to vegetable oil by the time you finish the bottle. The same goes for spices, nuts, and baking supplies. They all have shelf lives. When you buy a 2-pound bag of cumin or a 5-pound bag of almonds, you're not going to finish them before they lose potency or go stale. The milk jugs. Costco's milk jugs are blocky, squarish containers that customers complain are accident-prone and unwieldy. One shopper said, "Personally, I can vouch for this one. I can't think of a single time I've used those jugs and not spilled at least a little milk when pouring." Costco has been struggling with the milk jug problem since at least 2008. They use those square jugs because they're more efficient for shipping, but they're terrible for actually using. You're spilling milk all over your counter trying to pour from a jug designed for trucks, not humans. You save $2 compared to buying at a regular store, then wasted half of it on the counter. 2. The membership that might not be worth it. Costco's business model is brilliant from their perspective. They make most of their profit from memberships, not from selling products. They operate on razor-thin margins for most items. That's why the rotisserie chicken stays at $4.99 even during inflation. It's a loss leader designed to get you in the door, so you'll renew your membership. What that means for you, you're paying $60 to $120 per year for the privilege of shopping somewhere that might be selling you contaminated food, questionable ingredients, and products that aren't even good deals. The math. To break even on a $60 membership, assuming you save 10% on average compared to regular grocery stores, you need to spend $600 per year at Costco. That's about $50 per month. But you're not actually saving 10% on everything. Some items are cheaper, some are more expensive, some are the same price as elsewhere, just in bigger quantities. The executive membership promises 2% back on purchases, but that 2% cash back only matters if you're spending enough to make it worthwhile. To break even on the $120 executive membership versus the $60 Gold Star membership, you need to spend $3,000 per year at Costco. That's $250 per month. Are you spending $250 per month at Costco? If not, you're throwing away $60 per year on an upgraded membership that provides no benefit. The impulse buying problem. Costco is designed to make you buy things you didn't plan to buy. The treasure hunt layout, the constantly changing inventory, the samples, the bulk sizes that make you feel like you're getting a deal. Studies show that the average Costco shopper spends $100 to $200 per visit. A significant portion of that is impulse purchases, things you didn't come for but bought anyway because they were such a good deal. You're paying $60 to $120 for a membership that encourages you to overspend. But all of that, the membership math, the bulk buying myths, the questionable ingredients, none of it compares to what I'm about to tell you. This is the one that should make you reconsider everything. 1. The meat department's darkest secret. Let's start with the ground beef. In July 2025, more than 1,000 pounds of Ada Valley frozen ground beef were pulled from stores after metal pieces were discovered. This demonstrates that contamination extends beyond just one manufacturer or product category, the plastic contamination. In 2023, Costco issued a public health alert because customers found soft, clear plastic in their ground beef. The USDA confirmed it. You might be grinding up plastic along with your burger meat, but the real issue isn't contamination. It's where Costco's meat comes from. With beef and pork, you at least know it's domestic. With seafood, that's where things get really dark. Remember when that Associated Press investigation revealed that major retailers, including Costco, were sourcing seafood from China, where North Korean workers were employed in brutal conditions? Let me break this down for you. North Korean workers are sent to China to work in seafood processing plants. They're paid, but up to 70% of their salary goes directly to the North Korean government. They work in harsh conditions. They have little to no freedom. They're essentially slave labor. And the seafood they process ends up on your plate, at Costco, in your cart, in your home. Costco never disclosed this to customers. It took investigative journalists to uncover it. And even after the investigation, Costco's response was vague. They claimed to be committed to human rights and fair labor practices, but provided little detail about how they were addressing the issue. Think about that for a second. You walk into Costco to save money on shrimp. You're thinking about your family dinner, maybe a nice stir fry or some shrimp cocktail for a party. Meanwhile, that shrimp may have been processed by workers who can't leave their jobs, who have their passports confiscated, whose wages are stolen by a brutal dictatorship that threatens their families back home if they try to escape. Every dollar you spend on that seafood potentially funds a regime that operates concentration camps, executes political dissidents, and starves its own people. You're buying shrimp and fish that may have been processed by people who have no freedom, who work in brutal conditions, and whose wages fund one of the most oppressive regimes on earth. That $4.99 rotisserie chicken suddenly doesn't seem like the biggest problem anymore. The bottom line, you walked into Costco thinking you were getting deals. Look at what's actually in your cart. Chicken with a 1 in 10 chance of salmonella contamination. Prepared foods with plastic and metal inside. Bakery items that smell like petroleum. Organic eggs with blood inside. Protein bars linked to cardiovascular problems, and seafood potentially processed by what amounts to slave labor. Costco moves 100 million rotisserie chickens a year. They built their own processing plant to control the supply chain. That plant has failed federal safety standards 92% of the time since opening. This isn't a few bad batches. This is the system working exactly as designed. Profit over safety, volume over quality. So before you renew that membership, ask yourself, is the bulk discount worth it? If this video made you rethink your next Costco run, hit subscribe. Tell me in the comments, what's the worst thing you've ever bought there? I'll see you in the next one.